Welcome to Shooting the Shift with Marilyn and Elizabeth. These light warriors, both native New Yorkers, walk their walk, talk their talk, and keep the real in the deal. This dynamic duo joined forces to assist you through your transformational journey one step at a time, empowering you with spiritual tools you can use in your daily life. Each show begins as a conversation creating an opening for spiritual connection. There are never any scripts, and Spirit is always illuminating the way. And that's when the shift hits the fan. The magical messages of the ancestors, spirit guides, and Gaia are respected, honored, and always given sacred space to communicate. Join Marilyn and Elizabeth as they shake shift up and do what they do best, speak from their hearts.
Welcome to Shooting the Shift with Marilyn and Elizabeth. And I am really excited today to introduce you. Many of you here on OMTimes may already know Miss Melisa Caprio, but she is one of my favorite creative souls on this planet and happens to be a very good friend of mine. So I'm really pleased to tell you that Miss Melisa Caprio, who is an author, a photographer, a radio host, and the creator of the Postcards to the Universe, which is a global movement for manifestation. And Miss Melisa has a published book in the same title called Postcards to the Universe with Mango Publishing. And she also is in the process of launching a new creative project, which she's going to talk about a little bit today. There's so many things I could read on this amazing bio, but I'm not going to because she's here and we get to hear it straight from the artist, which is always the most exciting part, being a creative soul myself. So, Miss Melisa Caprio, welcome to Shooting the Shift.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me. I'm excited to be here. It's nice to be a guest, right?
Yeah. The tables have turned. And now
the tables have turned.
We're under the microscope now.
Exactly. It's fun. I like it.
So, Melisa, tell everybody what time your show is, because it's on the same day as our show on Wednesdays on OMTimes.
So it's called Postcards to the Universe with Melisa, Creating the Life You Crave. And my show airs Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's 1 p.m. Pacific Time.
Yeah, and I always get that wrong. And
That's okay.
I do. I always get that wrong. And Melissa and I are both Gemini risings. Well, no, you're a Gemini. You're a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini
sun.
sun.
I'm a Gemini rising.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, well, just a little bit of history for the people out there. I knew you way back when. I mean, it's been a long time now.
I know.
Right?
It has.
And we knew each other just when Postcards to the Universe was a little seedling. It was a little sprout ready to burst. And we were in a writing workshop together. And then we ended up hitting it off with like 6 amazing women, and we had a wonderful group for many years where we would meet and we would all support each other's projects and work together. That was like a magical time for me.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. And Melissa and I have never actually met in person, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? Because I feel like you really have become like one of my best friends. I'm so grateful for you. I can pick up the phone and go, yeah, you know, and you're like, or you can too, you know, and we just know each other's tones and frequencies. So when I first met you, I just absolutely loved the idea of Postcards to the Universe. You know, I was one of your biggest fans because I'm an artist and creative myself. And I just would love for you to talk a little bit about your movement, because nobody can talk about that better than you, right?
Yes, thank you. Yes, and I love your postcards. Elizabeth's are one of my favorites that I get because she is an artist. So basically what Postcards to the Universe is it's about using our creativity to co-create with the universe to bring in what we want to manifest using the law of attraction. Because for those of you who don't know, the law of attraction means that we are always wherever we're vibrating, we're bringing into our life. So if we're vibrating low, we'll bring in more low energies. If we're vibrating high, we bring in higher energies. And most of the time, we're unconsciously doing it. We have no idea, right? So it's like I always say, do you ever, like, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're like in a bad mood, you'll notice that whole day is terrible. Like everybody's rude, it's like, so you're unconsciously attracting that. So being a fine artist and a photographer is my background. When I discovered about the law of attraction and manifestation, I thought, how can I use this in a creative way? And so I created postcards. And basically, many people, I'm sure your listeners are well aware, and people listen to OMTimes Radio, about vision boards. So it's kind of like a vision board, but it's sort of on a mini scale, and it's more laser focused. We tap into the energy of whatever it is we want to manifest. We create a postcard around that. And before the pandemic, I was doing live workshops. I haven't done one now in almost 2 years. I'm missing that. I want to get back into doing that. But people still do them from home. On my website, postcardstotheuniverse.com, I have a whole section that shows you how you can make a postcard and you can send it to me. That's the hardest part, is releasing it, right? Is your beautiful postcard. People don't want to release it. And I'm like, you have to, that's part of it. Just take a picture of it. And I always recommend keeping it somewhere where you see it every day, maybe your refrigerator, your phone. We're always on our phones. It could be your screensaver. And then people will call me or email me when the manifestation becomes their reality, and in the physical sense. And I share their stories. And in my book, there are 30 stories, including Elizabeth's stories in there. Yep. And my story about wanting to get a traditional publisher is in there also. So that's the sort of short version.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful book. It's really affordable. It is amazing. Of course, I'm a little biased, but of course, I love it. And I actually know a few of the people that have contributed in here. And excuse me, I know some of their journeys and how they have literally unfolded and unraveled, is one of Marilyn's favorite words, unraveled into becoming. And as we both love Christopher Witecki, since Christopher, as he says, what you be, you become, which is exactly what you're doing with the postcards. So I would like to put a little plug in here, because holidays are coming up, and this is literally a wonderful gift to give somebody, because it's so inspiring to read other people's stories of hope and despair and see that they turned despair into something that was really beautiful, or even something happy into something even happier. And it's wonderful for New Year to inspire people, right? To get to know your movement and maybe create a postcard and send it to the universe. So where can people purchase your book?
Oh, thank you. So you can purchase it online at Amazon, of course. But if you do, you don't want to support Amazon, some people would rather go to local bookstores. They are in spiritual stores, from what I understand from my publisher, but Barnes & Noble has it also. So you can always purchase it online at Barnes & Noble. If you just Google it, truthfully, and you see where to purchase, it's in a lot more places than I had realized. You don't know, like when they put it out there. That's the great thing about having a traditional publisher, is they get your book into these places. Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say is, I've made 4 postcards for Melisa, but this has been over the course of 6.5 years, I think.
Yes.
And one of my absolute favorite pieces of art that I would never sell, priceless, I had to send, and it kills me but I know it's in good hands, because I know I had to let it go, but I know you did a beautiful job of photographing it, and I'm like, better be in Fort Knox, because someday if I ever have an artist retrospective, I'm stealing that puppy back, at least on loan. But
which one? Which one is it?
The woman breaking through.
The woman breaking through. Yeah, the 3D one. Which, I have up on my refrigerator. You know that, right? That's one of the pieces that I like to look at every day.
Snatch it.
And isn't it
Okay.
beautiful to learn how to let go, right? It's learning
Yes,
how to let go of it,
it
right?
was a huge lesson for me, Marilyn, because I really didn't, and I knew I had to, and I think artists, we create something beautiful and we have to, the point of creating it is to share it, not to covet it and keep it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So now you're working on a new project too. It's kind of
Yes.
not top secret, but another seedling. That's exciting. What are you willing to share about that with us?
Okay, so I am working on my second book. I'm not going to reveal the title of it, but it's 85% completed. Well, the rough draft is 85% completed. And along with it, it's very focused on affirmations, about using affirmations to shift our energy and raise our vibe. But the cool thing about it is I have tons of exercises in the book and fun things to do and how to do that, but I'm also it has an accompaniment of oracle cards. So so it's 52 weeks. It has 52 oracle cards, and the oracle cards are my photographs of the postcards using the affirmations. So I take a lot of time to set up how I'm going to photograph a postcard. So I am also putting all of that high vibration into taking the image and making that an oracle card. Along with the person who sent me the oracle card, their postcard, their manifesting postcard, with their affirmation. One affirmation, maybe I honor my spirit, and then I talk all about what that looks like, and that could be that would be one of the oracle cards, or so just so the way I have it laid out in the book is you can start it any time. It doesn't have to be a beginning of the year thing. And you work with whatever oracle card is that you turn to for that. If you don't want, you could open the book and you could just start wherever you start, and you can build on that. So we're building on the affirmations. But being a photographer and an artist, I wanted to put my visual component into it. And it's different because they're photographs. It's not graphic art or digital art or paintings. They're photograph oracle cards. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember in the beginning showing you another concept that I was like, oh my God, Melissa needs to do this. And you're like, I'm already on it. It was like a secret keeper, And it's been really amazing because actually this last radio show we had, we talked about a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And when you came into my life was literally right when I had my big journey with my health, and a lot of people fell away and very few stayed, and you were one of the few that stayed. And I always feel so blessed for that, and our friendship has truly blossomed. Through some pretty amazing, extraordinary times. We live in a world where you can have a friendship with someone across the state or the country or the globe, and really develop a true sisterhood. And really, we didn't have that 50 years ago. It is a sign of the times that we live in. And I'm not saying it's very unique, or it's very special, we're very lucky. I'm not saying everybody can do that, but you can have a pen pal that's a Wi-Fi pal.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. And I go to Elizabeth all the time, especially if I'm not sure about something, because when it's something that's yours, and you have you want something to occur, you're sort of biased on trusting your own intuition. It's like, is that really, how I feel? So I always call Elizabeth, do you have a minute? What do you think? What do you feel? Because she's always honest. And even if it's something that's not exactly what I would want to hear, she's always honest.
Oh, thank you. And also, I'm really honored too, because you're like my record keeper. I'm like, note this, note that, or you're like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know, but we have so many stories like that.
Oh, so many.
Synchronicities. And that is what part of the kismet spirit of our friendship, because we are both so creative. We are Geminis. We're very passionate. I always say I have just a scotch of Sicilian blood because I want some, like your crazy Italian family, So we're like little split aparts in the creative universe. And that's so great too, because we get to send each other like ideas. Like I was so honored when you shared King Henry with me.
Oh,
and that was your little book that you did on the spirit lizard. And it's just really nice when you have someone to go, that color is just not working,
Right.
And they've got your back and they're being supportive, but they're telling you the truth. As a creative visual artist, you really need that.
Yeah.
So I know we're going to have a break coming up in just a minute, and you have graciously agreed to to share part of your journey so that Marilyn can do some of that magic that she does, energetic work. I know you guys talked a little bit yesterday, and so this isn't like a shocker or anything, but this is the first time Marilyn's done this on the radio, so I'm sure she's pretty excited. In the next segment, we're going to dive into working energetically on an issue that you've been having and whatever you want to share around that. And you are our first guest, Melissa.
Yeah, welcome.
I don't mind being the guinea pig. Yeah, I don't mind being a guinea pig.
Is that a bad description, a guinea pig?
No,
it's better than a
perfect
doll.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
All right, so I guess we're going to take our very first break, and we're going to come right back with Melissa and Marilyn, and we're going to do some magic, energetic work. Stay tuned.
Yay.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
At least track of time. Welcome back.
Welcome back to Shooting the Shift. Miss Marilyn and Miss Melisa Caprio, our guest today, and myself, Elizabeth. We're all here, a little dynamic trio. And, we're heading to the end of the year. And we want to do as many clearings and healings and self-reflections as we can on ourselves, because why bring that baggage into the new year if we don't have to? As much as we can let go, let it go. So, Marilyn and Melissa, I am going to mute myself, and you ladies take the stream.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So, Melissa, I know that we spoke for a few minutes, and, about issues. And so if you wanted to, I don't know if you want to go into it a little bit, just a tiny bit or not. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. We can move either however you wish. Okay.
Yeah. Well, explain what's been going on with me so people kind of know what you're going to do. So it started March 1st, and the reason that I know this is because I had a doctor's appointment that day, and it didn't start till later in the afternoon. It started with my stomach. And for months, I was dealing with terrible stomach aches where I thought I had an ulcer, went to doctors, finally got on some medication, which helped, got an endoscopy. You know, they do the whole inside look. Everything looked great. She's like, you are pink and beautiful. Nothing is wrong. And it went away. The stomach is gone. Now, something has moved into my urethra area. I've had a UTI on and off for months. Like, actually, I had some bacteria in my urine on that March 1st. I know I'm revealing a lot, but it's okay. I'm an open book. It doesn't bother me. So, did a round of antibiotics, went away. Another one came back in June, went away. And then this one that came in October, I've gone through 3 rounds of antibiotics. And it's gone, I think, but I'm still at some point in the day, I still feel that urgency. If anybody's had a UTI, they know. I still feel the urgency, and sometimes it feels like a burning, like I have to, relieve myself, I have to pee. And it just comes and goes, and I notice a direct line with stress, interestingly enough. And I've had an ultrasound on my kidneys and bladder, and everything looks great. I have tiny, tiny, tiny little stones on my kidneys, like really small. And that's it. And that's where I'm at. Yeah. So that's the health stuff.
And the beautiful part of this whole thing is usually when I work on people, right? I always say to them, it's important to look to a doctor as well, right? To make sure that we rule out certain things, right? But when we rule out all these things, we can also recognize that a lot of it has to do with energetic, frequencies really that are in the body, right? Wreaking havoc, right? A lot of times it's just that stagnant energy and it's being held in a certain frequency. And so what's happening is our body is trying to get our attention, and it's going to get our attention in whatever form it takes for us to listen, right? So I know that we spoke about a little bit about it, and the information that was coming through was that was important for you to move slow and steady, with confidence, so that you'll arrive, right? Because you will arrive. But what's happening is also there's a feeling. There's this feeling of being out of sorts, out of balance, like a stagnant flow of energy in the body.
Yes.
So it's feelings of lack, of lost, of attempting to redefine the self, right? That creates the confusion and uncertainty. So that's something to focus. So I also want to say to you that as I'm speaking, right, I'm also moving energy, right? I want you to be conscious and aware of how your body's feeling as I'm speaking to you, because the words as well, right, are the frequencies that are being carried towards you, as well as the energy that I'm moving through as I speak to you. Okay, so the other thing is, trusting yourself in this new endeavor, right, is necessary for the new release. And I know that sometimes we might say, well, but I trust that. I trust that. But do you? But do you really? So this is the question. Do you really trust yourself in this new endeavor, right? Because this is necessary for the new release, right? So it's like this being super critical of your body, where you are in your career versus where you expect it to be, are huge boulders. And I got this download this morning. It's like a huge boulder. So when you're talking about those little stones, right? If we don't work on that energy, right? Then that's what you see, the word boulder comes in. That's important because it can increase and it could create bigger blocks, right? That generate distortions and distractions and limited thinking. So I want you to feel that, right? But then I want you to allow yourself to feel that. And where is it resting in your body, right? Where's this stress, this tension in your body that even now I feel it, like I'm feeling it in my body. And it feels so uncomfortable, right? I'm feeling almost like, man, I want to just get up and I want to I want to move, right? I just need to feel like I got to shake it off or something. And I do that. Like I do the shaking of the body when I'm feeling like that, because I understand that it's not mine, right? So I don't want to hold on to it. I just understand that I just, tapped into that energy that is living within you, right? And you can say, yes, I feel that, or no, I don't feel that, or I'm not aware of it. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, this is about the energetic frequencies, the way I feel them when I connect to you, when I connect to your energy field, right? And it's about getting real with your innermost feelings and practicing self-love with tenderness, right? We have to have that tenderness, in all areas of discovery, because that's going to help to generate a new frequency for you, right? So that's an important thing to know, because this is all about a frequency, right? And it's a new frequency that you're feeling right now. So what your body is really trying to do, it's trying to flow, right? Because remember, this is, the urinary tract, right? So it's the waters that are flowing through the body. And so your body is really trying to clear out the toxins. And so now it's important for you to check in, right? And understand what is that is, that is disturbing, the flow, my flow. What is it that I'm thinking or believing, right? What is it that I'm thinking or believing? Because I'm doing something, right? Or I'm registering something and I'm just not aware of it. So that's an important thing that I would like you to, to focus. I'm also, so it's for creativity, it's important, right? Because you can get blocked, right? By limiting beliefs. Known or unknown. This is really important, because some of the limiting beliefs you understand and you know them very well, but there are those that you have no idea that they are. It's almost like this secret that's being held inside the body, and now it's time for you to say, I got to reach that, right? Because it's vibrating in such a way. And I want you to, I really, I feel it like all in my legs moving upward, right? Right now, that's what I'm feeling. And that's because this energy really wants to get recognized. It wants to come on up, and it wants to surface, and it wants you to see it so that it could move in the energy that it needs to move in. So that's important. So whenever you hold on tightly to the unforgivable as well, right, then that we create limits in our bodies, and we create limits in the outside world as well. So that's important. So what we want to do is we want to also, because that came in, so it's important for us to move that energy out, right? The frequency of limiting beliefs, and the unforgivable acts of self and others, right? It's the open door, right? For every other matching frequency. So it's important, because if we leave that door wide open, my goodness, then everything that has that same frequency just comes right on in, right? So I want you to be aware of that, right? Because it's so important. And if it's coming up, it's because it really wants to get your attention. It really wants, you're ready for this change, and you're ready for, to move this energy, but you first have to define it, right? You have to find it, right?
Yes.
So that's important. Recognize that there is that frequency, that door that's open. It's like an open invitation to a party that you aren't even aware of. You aren't even aware of, right? So that's that it's important for you to be aware. Hey, there's that energy that's, that's surging in me, that's wreaking havoc. And I don't like the party. I don't like that party. It doesn't feel good. That's not a good party, right? I don't even want to be invited to that party. I want to shut the door on that one. I want to allow that energy to move out of me. But first I have to acknowledge that it's there, right? So part of it is to be kind and to speak lovingly to yourself, especially when you aren't feeling good about an experience or a thought that you're having, especially in those times, because that's when it's really activated, right? And so that's the times when we can deactivate that energy, right? By speaking lovingly, right? By feeling really good about ourselves, right? About experiencing things and saying, oh, I'm learning. This is just a learning process. It's okay. It's just a part of me that just didn't get it or didn't know it. And now I do, and I'm moving in that energy. So this is, part of this experience, right, is to remember to be kind to yourself, to feel the energies that you need to feel, to recognize the vibration and follow it toward the story. That's where the frequency lives, right? The story, right?
So
and
there's a story stored there right now that it's trying to get my attention.
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel that it's an old story that's coming back up, or do you think it's a new story? It's an old story.
It's an old story that
I stored.
Wasn't, and it just wasn't, how would I say, it wasn't even tapped into because it was maybe too much at the time. Or, this is what I'm going to say to you. You might even say, well, I dealt with that already, because you might have a feeling of what it is. Okay, I don't need to say it. You know it. Okay, so what's going to happen is you might say, yeah, but I worked on that already. And it doesn't really matter. And it's not that important anymore. Listen, your body is saying that it is. And so it is. And so now what you need to do is dive back in and work that story, but rework it. And you know how you can rework that story is by understanding yourself a little bit better and giving yourself the understanding that, you are not responsible, right? Because you're holding yourself responsible for stuff that was never yours to hold. I want you to that's so important. You're holding yourself responsible for stuff that was never yours to hold, right? And this new energy carries the frequency of change and acceptance and will be received in the frequency that is vibrating the loudest within you. So it's important for you to recognize that frequency and to work with it. And, sometimes, I know that, Elizabeth talked about the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian forgiveness ritual.
Yes.
And so that's that's such a beautiful way of working with this energy.
I do say that a lot.
Yes. What I want you to do is I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to say the words. And I want you to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And I want you to say it until you can feel the connection to that frequency of forgiveness in yourself, right? In yourself, because it's so important. Sometimes we don't even recognize that that's what we're doing, that we're holding ourselves in that energy,
Yeah.
I see.
I know. Elizabeth is like...
Because it's like so powerful and I can feel it. And, she keeps saying letting go too. And it's part of your body where you're eliminating. You're eliminating and releasing things through that urinary tract, right? And when everything Marilyn's saying, it feels like the residual bits that need to go.
Right.
Right.
So, but if we don't take care of it, if we don't take care of it, what's going to happen is going to formulate and it's going to create more, right? And it's going to be even harder to kind of like, because now you're going to have to do the dig deep kind of, right? So, this piece is so important because energetically, it's important for you to feel the energies moving through you, right? In the words and in the deeds, and to feel the fear in what it is that, you because there's a part of you that says, well, yeah, this is a little fearful for me. This was really difficult. This is really difficult for me. This is really difficult because I can feel that I'm like moving in that energy that you're moving in right now, right? Because it feels like, oh my goodness, I don't know. And this is what I'm going to say to you, that we can work. When we get off the show, if you want, we can work through this, and I can move energy to assist you to move some of that out, but also to reconnect you with your own understanding of how you can move the energy, because first you have to recognize what it looks like and feels like and how it's vibrating in your body, right? So that then you can do this, you can move the energy out so that we don't allow more of the same to come in, right? Because this is what happens. It just gets caught up. And then we have this energy that's not allowing us to, to feel good, even when we should be feeling good, right?
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes we feel good, but there's that, I feel good, but, there's the but,
Right.
So you can't feel the complete joy because there's always that but. So it's important for us to be able to say, I'm joyful. And there is no but after that, right? I am just joy filled now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and when you're in discomfort and pain, it takes your attention, right? So when I'm trying to be in my creative space, it's like I'm not fully present there because I'm feeling the feeling. You know what I'm saying?
And that feeling is trying to get your attention.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. It's trying to get your attention. So that you can then be free of it, right? But you can't be free of it until you recognize it.
Right.
It'll always surface. It'll keep surfacing, right? And this is the energy. And I know we got to be going in a few seconds, but this is the energy now that I tell people, this is it. This is the time when everything is coming up. Listen, we have had so much trauma and witnessed so much trauma in the world is collectively that it has brought up so much of our own trauma that has not been worked out. And so this is what's happening right now. This new energy, this new frequency that's moving in is to help us to say, here it is. Oh my goodness. Let me work on this. Okay. Or let me love this part of me more. Right. Because this is what this part needs. Right. If I'm fearful, I'm afraid. And if I'm afraid, I just need to be loved. And I can give that love to myself. I can love myself enough because I am enough and I matter. So I can do those things.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So beautiful, sending you beautiful frequencies, right?
Thank
to
you.
assist you and to guide you and to help you to sort this stuff out, right? So that you can move freely in your own vibration, in your own frequency, right? In your authentic. You're welcome.
Beautiful. And I love the word tenderness. We all need to be so tender with ourselves. And I personally suck at it, and I will be the first one to raise my hand and admit it. So try a little tenderness, everybody out there, especially with the holidays coming.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Well, we're going to go off to our next break, and we're going to get some feedback from Melisa about her frequencies and how it feels. And stay tuned.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Imagine yourself being transported to India, to the banks of the Ganga and an ashram in Rishikesh. Visualize that you are welcome to satsang with an American sannyasi who shares the wisdom of her guru. Your visualization has manifested. Join Sattvi Bhagawati Saraswati for inspiration and transformation every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Coping 19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
With everything going on, there may be times you feel like you can't handle it all. Journaling, meditating, and talking with friends and family can help you feel more grounded and better able to cope. Your kids are also going through a lot of new experiences, and simply talking with them about their feelings can be quite powerful.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Welcome back to Shooting the Shift, where we just literally shook Melisa up and shifted some stuff for her. So how are you feeling, Melisa? We've got some feedback.
I'm feeling interesting. Like as Marilyn was talking, and and moving her hands and doing her thing, like I'm feeling the pressure building in my bladder. And I was like, about a minute before, I was like, oh my God, I have to go pee so bad. So I ran during the break to go release. And I heard you, Marilyn, saying that's so great that you're releasing some of that energy.
Yes.
And right now that I've released, it feels like the discomfort level has gone down tremendously. So that's good. So,
well, Melissa, I know you're doing EMDR or tapping, and I also know that Marilyn's helping you with this. And I know that you're very open to your wholesome health. And one thing I would recommend is, every time you go pee-pee, just say, I'm just releasing a little bit more of this stuff right now out of my body.
That's a good idea.
Have that mental, and with tenderness. It's ready to go. Thank you, my body, for processing it, and let it flow and go.
Yeah, you're releasing that which no longer serves you.
That's right.
Right? And so sometimes what happens is that, there's so many toxins and residual from past experiences that still haven't been shifted. Right. And so when we do go, right, I do that. I mean, it might sound crazy, but that's what I do a lot of times, I always go. It's time to release the toxins. And I'm so thankful and grateful that this body of mine knows exactly how to move this stuff out. Right, without me even having to direct it, right? So, because this is really an important part for us to recognize that we have an amazing body, right? That just really can do so much. The difficulties that we end up having is the difficulties of having speaking to our body as if it's limited, as if it can't do the work, as if there's something wrong with it. Right. The understanding is that there really is nothing wrong with my body. There's something wrong with the way I'm thinking and processing information. And I need to just think it through a little bit better, change the perspective that I may be having, right? Rise to a higher perspective. Like I always used to say, come on, let's rise like the eagle. Let's soar like the eagle and see like the eagle from above. What is happening here in my life so that I can make the adjustments, right? So that I can make the changes.
I love that. I have a hawk spirit, and I know it shows me higher perspectives, a way I wouldn't see things. I do want to say, we all believe in the magic. I love the word magic. Some people have a problem with that word. I think it's the perfect word.
Well, it's my favorite word. Magic is my favorite word. So
yeah, and I also want to say, the power and intention. You are the affirmations. I love the affirmations. They're so important. They've changed my life so much. Louise Hay was my go-to queen mama of affirmations, and I write on my bottles on masking tape, vitality, health, anything that I'm drinking, I have words and intentions that what I want to put in. So what's coming in has the intention. And I know Marilyn does, she calls it Florida water. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a Florida water.
But you're in Florida, and she loves her Florida water. So I
use my Florida water, my rue, my sage, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yes.
Because
I have crystals in my bottle. Yeah.
I do coasters that have positive messages on them, and I put all my everything I drink on it. Good. So it infuses my water with, mostly I drink water, but I put my coffee on it too.
That's why I always say, be mindful of when you're drinking something, right? When you're holding something, when you're cooking something, when you're making something for someone, be mindful of your thoughts, right? Of your energy, right? Because you're infusing that which you're touching with that. So if I'm drinking this water and I'm thinking terrible, crazy, out there thoughts, but I'm not even conscious and aware that I'm drinking this water as I'm thinking these thoughts, I'm not really understanding that what I just did was I reinforced that with drinking this water and saying, yes, that's what I'm actually drinking. I'm drinking that toxic stuff up. So it's so important, right, to be, when I cook with love, right? When I'm making, even if it's a sandwich that I'm making, right, for someone, it's love that's applied to that, right, which makes it so much better, right? So that's important. So if we become more mindful about what it is that we are thinking and feeling. Remember, because we can think something, right? Yeah. And if we're really feeling it, oh wow, you better put that glass down if it's not good, right? Because you're really infusing that, right?
And that's manifestation too. It's like, why do people say, well, I think about what I want all the time, but if you're not feeling it, you have to get into the vibration of feeling it. You're not going to be able to attract it. If you think, oh, I want this, new love, but then deep down you feel like, oh, I'm too old or I'm too fat.
You don't deserve it.
Nobody's going to love me. You can think it all you want.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Right.
Listen, the truth of the matter is, like I tell all my clients, go watch videos of puppies. Drink a glass of Chardonnay. Kittens tumbling down little, whatever it is. Fake it till you make it.
Or
Get
dance.
Warm,
or dance.
Yes.
Dance. I love to dance. I don't know how to dance, but I dance. And I go and I play my music and I go like this. Yes, move that body, girl. Because the more I move that body and I get into the rhythm of the music, I'm able to release myself and to free my spirit. See, my spirit just wants to be free. And so if I can move the body and even sing, right? Because when I'm singing, what happens is I'm allowing my voice, right? I'm allowing my voice to say what it needs to say, to practice being able to speak out loud. And that's important too, right? Because sometimes we shut this down, right? Because, and I'm saying the throat, right? We shut the throat down because we say, oh, I can't say that. Oh, I better not say that. Or, you know what? And then what happens is that you don't even realize that what you're doing is you're controlling how it is that you are going to communicate in the world. And then what happens is that you stop yourself from communicating altogether because you feel that you don't have the right words. So sometimes, so what I do is I say, let my words, right, be the words that are of wisdom and are of love and are of harmony and compassion. And then I speak, right? But I try not to limit myself because I know that I have for many years, almost all my life, limited my ability to speak, right? And so I don't want to do that anymore. That's why I'm such a talker now.
Right. Because you opened up that channel.
Yes, and speaking of opening up, that's what I was saying about the heart space. Like that is your power. That is your battery. That is your soul. Your soul resides in that heart space. And you can want a plane to land and, your lover from another planet to show up. But if there's no runway for that plane to land, it's going to fly right by you.
Exactly.
So that heart space magnetize what you want. And that's why I recommend puppies and kittens. Now, that's not for everybody. But whatever makes you warm and fuzzy and happy as a clam and dancing like Marilyn said, and all of that, get in that because you're going to conjure like, okay, I want a new person, a soulmate, a companion to come into my life and be in a really crappy, low vibrational place. What are you going to get? You're going to get a turd. You don't want it, right? I mean, seriously.
That's the truth. You're going to get a turd.
Yeah, you're gonna get the low vibrational pain in the ass,
Right. Yeah.
So, well, you're gonna get exactly what you
You're
are, what your
magnetizing.
frequency is,
Yes.
what your frequency is, we might not even recognize our frequency, but we can recognize the vibration that we're in, right? But we might not recognize the frequency, but we don't realize that the frequency is the caller. The frequency is what's calling out into the universe and putting it out there and saying, here it is. And then the vibration is, I'm showing up like this. This is it, right? So you may be calling in the wrong energy, and you might not even recognize it because you're not tapped into your frequency, right? What is it that I'm really believing?
Go back to feeling, Marilyn. Going back to your body. How do I feel? Go there first, right?
Yes,
Always,
yes.
Everything.
Yeah.
I don't even left brain hardly anything anymore. It's really hard for me to.
It's all tapping into your feelings now. Yeah.
And my spidey senses. I mean, we've been so trained to not be in touch with that, and there's so many of us now that are going, no, there's a better way. It does work.
Yeah.
We get glimpses.
But some people are afraid, and I'll tell you, some people are afraid to feel. Right? And they're afraid to feel because they're feeling that, well, you've always told that that's probably not the thing to do. Or I don't really know what to do with this feeling now that I feel it, now that I recognize it. I don't know what to do with it.
You show your emotions, that's a sign of weakness. There's a lot of people who are raised with that message,
Yeah, and I really believe that's the sign of your strength. Like if you can cry out loud, that is your power. That is your power, because when you allow that energy, just think about the power of that energy. My God,
the ugly snot cry, the ugly snot cry. Could we feel any more vulnerable with that?
Right.
All right, ladies. I hate to change the topic. This show could be 2 hours long, but Melissa, I know that you are offering a special going on now through the end of the year. Is that right? The end of the year?
Yeah. I don't know. I may continue it, but definitely through the end of the year. So a while ago, I created, it's called Manifesting Through Gratitude, a 30-day visual challenge. And it teaches us how to use gratitude every single day to manifest what we want. And then my component that I added to it is we're going to use our iPhones or Android phones or phones with cameras, and we're going to take pictures of what we're grateful for every day. And we're going to make a visual gratitude journey. And there's a whole bunch of writing exercises on there. I break it down. Each week is a focus on something different. 1 week's relationships, 1 week's health, 1 week is, career. So I created it, and originally I priced it for $29. It's very reasonable. And I decided to give it away. So all you have to do to get it is to sign up for my newsletter, and it automatically comes as a PDF into your inbox. Yeah, so you can find it on my website.
Really in depth,
Yes, it's 44 pages.
My favorite number. And I got to partake in that last year. I don't know. I don't remember if it was spring.
Yeah, it's been over a year since I created it. Yeah.
And what's your website?
Postcards2theuniverse.com.
Okay.
Yeah, everything is from there. You can link to OMTimes through there, the podcast, the blog, all my images, all my social media, and then the course. The course is there too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's really in depth. I mean, it's something you can do at your own pace and your own time. It's not something you have to put a time limit on or feel pressured about, which is really what I love about how you set that up too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because
I think we need it. I think we all need to be a little bit more grateful. Oh, yeah, my book, of course.
One more thing about your beautiful book, which I want to say why, again, it makes such a beautiful gift for somebody else, is you can flip through here and read one story in 5 minutes and then put it down and then pick it up 3 days later, 3 months later, and read another one. So it's not like you have to sit down and have a big block of time. It's perfect. And I like that. It's Gemini rising. Yeah, I know, because we get distracted. Shining
so easily.
So I'm so grateful that you were on our show today,
Me
Melissa.
too. Thank you.
And
thank you.
Thank you so much. Right?
And Marilyn, thank you for working on me live. I appreciate that. So everybody can kind of get an idea of what you do. Of course.
Yeah, thank you for trusting me, right? It's beautiful.
She's just getting started. We're just getting her warmed up, you know. Marilyn has never done this on the radio, but she's
Never
been
on
doing
the
this
radio.
a long time, and she's worked with me, and she's helped me miraculously shift some stuff.
I know.
There you go.
And you, of all people, Melissa, know, like, because I had a radio show first, and you followed me there, and then you had this radio show, and I followed you here.
It's
but
true.
you, above all people, know how much I didn't want to do radio again.
Yes,
So that's a testament to Marilyn that, you know, I found my right co-host, right? And it was magic. So again, that word magic, kismet, it was meant to be. And I'm thrilled that you are our first guest.
Yes,
So
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please check out postcardstheuniverse.com. And you can see her book on Amazon, and you can hear her on OMTimes after our radio show at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, I'll be on at 4 p.m. today.
Yeah, wonderful. And so, Miss Marilyn, how can people find you, darling?
So I have a website, universalsacredmedicine.com. And so they can, you know, come onto the website, and then they can send me from the website. They can tap in and send me, hello, you know, do I want a session or whatever it is that they want, right? And you can also ask questions, right? Because I think that it's important. If you want to go onto the website and you want to ask a couple of questions and you want maybe us to do it on the radio, that would be great. We can do that too, you know?
Okay, wonderful. And you can find me at angelwithanedge.com on Instagram and my website. And we want to wish you peace and blessings. Thank you for joining us on Shooting the Shift today. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Right?